So, Mr. Kanyeri, most Kenyans living in abroad, working in abroad, always look forward in investing back at home. And as much, if maybe they could want to invest in any other kind of investment, they always look at land as the most or prominent, they give the priority. So maybe you can just inform our viewers, what do they need to know, what do they need in order to invest back at home?
Oh, I think that's a very good question. And considering we're talking about those in diaspora, it's good to start by giving maybe a preamble of the numbers in terms of who is this diaspora we're actually speaking to. There was a report done by Central Bank of Kenya and on diaspora, I think somewhere March 2021. And from the report, they actually alluded to this, that most of the people in diaspora are actually looking at land and real estate by extension as one of the safest investment to invest back at home. The report also went on to talk about government securities and all that. But let's now major in terms of land. Land is actually very valuable. And we know this from the fact that land continues to appreciate with time. So if I'm looking at this person as a diaspora, I want to have a link that will join me back home. From the report, they were saying in terms of earnings, I think they was giving a distribution between earning, ages and all that, and generally the median stay of a person in diaspora. So let me start by maybe giving the numbers. So the biggest remittance, diaspora remittance to Kenya, are people from North America. And by North America, mostly we're talking about the US and maybe Canada. We had Asia also leading the pack and the oceanic states, and then Europe. They formed part of the biggest remittance back home. From the report, the median stay of a person in diaspora was about 11 years. So we're talking about a person who kusi kwenyu. So you've gone there. And you have now this duration, like you have to make it. So if we're talking about a median stay of 11 years, you have to ask yourself, once my 11 years maybe lapse, and maybe I'm not as valuable or productive as I used to be before, what is this investment that I can actually lean on? You want an investment that will now come to shield you after you've done with your diaspora stay and everything. So when you're coming back, you want something that maybe is more tangible and more long-lasting. So saying you're investing in terms of finding your home, or you're investing because you want to use it as an investment opportunity that is for speculation. You want something that will actually give you value.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've talked of remittance. You've talked of maybe you can just give us a number. Like now that you've been the person selling land in Fanaka for some time. Maybe you have the analytics, the numbers of the diaspora people that we have currently, our existing clients that are in diaspora. You can just maybe give a range of the percentage that they've invested with us. So maybe start by expounding on the remittance.
Sure. If you look at general remittance, and these I'm not talking about Fanaka alone, I'm talking as the entire country.
Yes.
You see, the remittance can be in a couple of ways. There is one that comes as direct investment. Those are people buying stuff. There is one where they'll send to their for supporting their families. There are those that they will do like investment, the one we've talked about, government securities and all that. There is also in-kind remittance. In-kind remittance is where a person unamwambia, hey, hello, you see what usually happens like for people in Nairobi. So someone just, by the fact that you are in Nairobi, maybe you just want to say, hey, hello. Tuma kitu nyumba. So it goes that way. So there is also that one. So in terms of remittance, the numbers from CBK, that is for during that duration, I think March 2021, it was a good billions, very good billions. And the number, I think, was actually continuing to rise. So but I think, I don't know if they did the report again, but my hope is if the report is done, then that numbers will be very high. So the numbers is very high.
Okay.
To answer your question back at Fanaka, diaspora client form more than 40% of the clients who invest with us. So we actually thank and laud their effort in doing that. Because again, as we continue, I'll tell you why that is.
Okay.
You see, what used to happen for diaspora clients back then, it's someone would want to buy land.
Yes.
Then they'd choose to invest through their brother. So unapata unatumia ndugu yako pesa, anaenda anakununulia.
Kununulia.
So what used to happen is if you are lucky enough, your brother angejenga nyumba yake, alafu wajenge nyumba yake. So that unapata your house ama the investment you are sending is half the expectation. Sababu amejenga yake na akajenga yako. Worst case scenario ilikuwa the guy anakula pesa yako.
And they download the photos and send you.
So they anakutumia picha ngambia mjengo yako imeendelea. So most of these people are actually very shocked. Wakirudi nyumbani. Na unapata hakuna kitu imekulwa yote. So Fanaka came and saw this as a gap. As a gap in terms of, in line with the mission we have, is to make sure each and every Kenyan has a place to call home.
Yes.
And by extension, you'll find the demand for land around Nairobi is usually very high. Considering, again, from the report, those in diaspora, the biggest number of people by county distribution are people from Nairobi and people from Kiambu. So these are people who are maybe born in Nairobi, raised in Nairobi, schooled in Nairobi. Generally, it being a capital, we expect this kind of thing. So if I'm from Nairobi and I'm maybe in the US or Canada or Europe, wherever, London, we forgot to talk
about and our queen has left us. Sorry. So condolences to that.
So you'll find that I'd want something that attaches me to Nairobi by extension. So as Fanaka, what we do is we made the process seamless in two ways. One, we made viewing the property very easy. Two, we made documentation and efficiency, rather the documentation, its efficiency and availability of information, because this is also very key. By availability of information, I'm talking about, I'm not here. How do you sell me that property that I can actually trust in? So we had to do that. We had to come and look at, if I'm in diaspora, what is this that I'll be looking for? You are actually becoming the middle player in that field, such that you remember, I think there's a show here we talked about what we look for when we are going to scout for this land. And we understand now that this person is in diaspora, what am I looking for this land for? Is it for my residential use? Is it for an investment option? So we look at that and take ourselves in the shoes of our client, such that if I'm doing this and I'm talking to a client in diaspora, I'm actually pitching to them something that I've already bought in. From there, what do we do? Now I love the land, I want to see. We usually do a lot of 360 video, a lot of, what do I call it? Virtual tours. So we encourage that one. That is for a person who does not want to maybe use a representative. Because again, most of these things have actually happened where a client comes, like the property through our Facebook pages or our website. They are engaged with our agents. They are sent a lot of these documents in terms of title, in terms of all those things. They are sent. And then they maybe commit. Another bunch of client in diaspora is that one who would want someone else to also offer a third eye. So we allow that, such that once I've talked to a person A in diaspora, they'll join us with their representative. We talk to their representative and arrange all those things in terms of site visits and all that. So we make sure that the process is very seamless, easy, but very accountable at every stage of the yes.